Hello, everyone. My name is Janeffa Perkins, and I am a health and life coach, and I help Black women professionals and women of color who are struggling with chronic illness and managing their careers. But what I also help them do is, despite their chronic illness diagnosis, show them how they can do so with positivity and with joy. So today I am starting my how to deal with chronic illness and travel successfully. That's what the topic I'm going to be sharing with everyone today. I'm doing a 5-day series on how to deal with chronic illness and various topics. And today's topic is with travel, which is my favorite. I have missed it so much during this pandemic. And I've been doing research because it is my hope that I can get back to doing what I love, and that is travel next year. So in doing my research, I wanted to come on with you today and just share a few of my tips that I have found helpful in striving to deal with my chronic illness and travel. And so I wanted to share it with you. The first one being, please research before you embark on your travels. Now, we know with COVID, it has made traveling for the able-bodied person more challenging, right? But for those of us who have chronic illness and have disabilities, then that challenge multiplies. But it's not insurmountable. It is very doable. You just got to plan ahead, research. And part of that research is with your accommodations. Check with your hotels when it comes to accessibility and any kind of accommodations that you may need that is deemed reasonable for your condition. Also, Airbnb. Be mindful that Airbnb has to disclose, or the host for that particular Airbnb has to disclose what accessibility that it has, and it has to disclose what accommodations it may have for your particular disability. But it is on you to check and research ahead of time that hotel or that Airbnb is going to have what you need to have an enjoyable trip. Definitely check with airlines. Many people don't recognize that any medical equipment you may need is not counted as a carry-on, right? So if you need a weighted blanket, if you need a TENS machine, anything that you may need to make your travel as comfortable as possible, check with that airline and make sure that you can take it and that it may very well be counted as medical equipment. And so it is looked upon as medical equipment and it doesn't count towards your allowed carry-on. I have found this to be helpful before the pandemic, but even more so now. I plan for rest breaks during my trip. So when I would do long haul flights, like for instance, when I went to Sri Lanka, the following day after that, almost 20 hours of travel, I did not plan any activities. That was considered a rest day for me. And I planned rest breaks throughout my trip so that I could lessen the possibility of flare-ups. And since I deal with chronic pain, I wanted to keep chronic pain at bay, right? So plan rest breaks. Pace yourself. Don't feel you have to do everything in one trip. You will do more harm than good. and your body will kick your butt. Because trust me, it has kicked mine, and it's not pleasant. So pace yourself, plan rest breaks during your trip. Which leads me to number 3. Bring your own little kit of things that make your time during travel, whether it's on a plane, a train, a car. Bring those noise canceling headphones, especially on the airplanes, or at least bare minimum the squishable earplugs. Please, 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 please. You need those. Essential oils can come in handy when you're dealing with smells. Some of us deal with sensory overload or being overly stimulated when it comes to people's perfumes or cologne. Of course, if you can ask the flight attendant to change your seat and you can do that, then by all means do so. But essential oils can come in handy in helping you relax, like lavender, and just helping you when it comes to smells and helping you to deal with the olfactory being bombarded by other people's smells. So having those things that make your travel, those necessary items that you need, whether it be an ice pack, a heating pack, essential oils, your medicines, those things that make your travel as comfortable as possible. Have your own little individual kit. Everybody knows what they need or for their illnesses. So make sure you have those necessary things for your comfort. And lastly, just back to research. Check with your hotel. Make sure that they have what you need. Oh, this was the other thing. See, this is why I'm glad I have my notes here. Gauge the distances. So your hotel is here. Gauge the distance between your hotel and the sites that you want to see, because you don't want to make yourself move any more than you have to, so that you keep down chronic pain, keep down over exhausting yourself. Figure out the transportation of where you are, because Uber is not available everywhere. But figure out the distances between the sites and your hotel, the restaurant in your hotel, so that you don't move too much and overexhaust yourself. Also, one last good tip. I had so many tips, and I may very well do a part 2 at a later time. But this last tip is restaurants. A lot of us have food allergies that kick off and exacerbate our chronic illnesses, especially with autoimmune. So be mindful. Check with restaurants, even in your destination. Check in the area of your accommodations, whether it's your hotel or Airbnb. Check with restaurants. Check their menus and assess what dishes you can have. Also, check with when you check with restaurants, but also check and see if there's any kind of grocery stores or places that you can go to get maybe some of the foods that you can eat on your own, so that you have the things you need. Because we can't always bring things on a plane that we can eat. But just those tips, keep those in mind. I hope they were helpful. So I'll do a quick rundown. Research. Check with your hotels as to accessibility and your mobility needs. Assess distance between your hotel and your sites that you want to go see, so that you don't overexhaust yourself and cause yourself any flare-up. Plan for breaks. Right after a long haul flight or right after an extensive amount of travel that day, take the next day off and rest and plan breaks throughout your trip to keep down the chance of a flare up. Check with airlines when it comes to their policy with disabilities and any medical equipment that you feel you need. Check with the airline because more than likely it won't count towards your carry-on. Also, bring noise canceling headphones or at least earplugs to help you with any noise and any excess sensory stimulation. Essential oils. Just make your own kit of any things that make your travel more enjoyable. So I hope those tips were helpful. I look forward to sharing with you all even more tips throughout the week, and have a great day.